everybody. Welcome to Later with Jason Suel. So happy that you're here. So happy you're tuning in at home, on the internet, wherever you are. Thanks for being here. It's in the heat of August right now. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up here in Northwest Arkansas in August, and we've got a lot of great guests on the show today to talk to us about what's happening. Rick Schaefer. Rick Schaefer is coming by, a notable legend, Arkansas sports broadcaster is coming by. We can give it up for Rick. Excited that he's going to be here. Yeah, yes. I should draw to your attention the man to my left, Mr. Bo Counts is here. Give it up for Bo, joining us as my sidekick. Exactly, you've got my back. Now, a real special guy. He has supported us all season with his amazing abilities. Mr. Jeremy Gothrop, who's joining us over here to my left as well. Give it up for Jeremy. He's going to be making some stuff, cooking some stuff for us in the studio today. Also coming by, Smokey and the Mirror. Brian and Bernice Hembry are joining us. Give it up for them. And I believe with that group, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Roots Fest, which is coming up really soon in Fayetteville, so we're excited about that. Finally, want to draw to your attention Raj Suresh, who is joining us to do his comedy stand-up routine. Give it up for Raj. I have had the privilege of hearing Raj, and I can't wait for Northwest Arkansas to continue to experience his abilities. Before we get there, though, we want to check in with our chef over here, so I'm going to be traveling right over to Jeremy Gothrop to talk about food.
Ooh.
Food.
Dropping peaches.
Dropping peaches.
Beats on
Nice.
I'm loving this. I'm loving it. All right, so what we got? You got peaches, you got...
This is the
Cucumbers?
Fayetteville Farmers Market bounty right now.
Nice.
Yes, everything. Peaches, Arkansas peaches, so good. They're just so amazing. No arguing there.
They are
So
super
wonderful.
juicy, I will say.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Georgia peaches, Arkansas peaches, all these peaches.
Yeah.
This war, no, Arkansas's got it. Yeah, we've got the peaches. So yeah, so we're gonna make some peach gazpacho. It's traditionally a raw food, cold soup from Spain,
Right.
Portuguese. And it's just delicious. But right now I wanted to show you how to do that so that we could show the viewers how to use all this summer bounty from tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and peaches and berries. It doesn't matter. There's no stopping with
Yeah,
gazpacho.
absolutely. And there's so much like food. There's been rain. There's been sun this summer. It seems like everybody is just overflowing with vegetables. Sweat is the main thing, right?
mostly.
God, it's so hot outside.
So hot.
But before that, it was so wet. You know
It
what
was
I'm talking about?
Wet and hot.
Yeah?
Wait a minute.
Hey-o.
Okay.
Raj knows what you're saying.
Yes.
The peaches.
Exactly. So you're going to show us how to make gazpacho, right?
Indeed.
And apparently all you need is one of these.
That's what I love about this. It's so simple. Everybody's got garden vegetables or a farmer's market, a blender,
Yep.
a cutting board, some blades.
Some blades, because everybody has these sweet-looking blades at their house.
Sweet blades. Well,
Just
maybe.
throwing knives.
It is.
Yep.
It
And
is. yeah.
salt, pepper.
That's
it's
all
so,
you need.
It's so basic. So you just basically can embody everything beautiful about the bounty of summer, and then make some cold soup, which then can later become salsa or whatever else you want to do with it.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to see what comes of this. I'm looking forward to tasting it at some point in this show. When we come back from break, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be interviewing Mr. Rick Schaefer, so stick around for more with Later. Yeah, you can move, Jim. That's it. Yeah, classic. Classic greenhouse grill dance. Yes.
Instagram, he knows what to do. He's gonna take some time to share his wisdom with you. Yeah.
Hello there, y'all. Instagram Paul coming at you. It's that time of year again. We got Labor Day coming up. We got the kids back in school. You got to watch what you're doing. You know, the kids today, they use this a lot. They use it in the classroom. They want to text all the time, and they don't have many manners. They don't know the etiquette texting manners. There's a certain time to text and not to be texting. One thing is, like, if you're being pulled over by the police, which I am quite often, you don't want to be texting when he asks for your license. Put the phone away. During surgery is a bad time to be texting. There's a time and a place for it, and people need to know that, and teenagers are the worst about it. Also, I found out it's not good at a funeral, especially at your grandmother's funeral. She was the kind of woman who was always saying, "Is everybody cold in here, or is it just me?" Is everybody hot in here, or is it just me? Well, when I went to her funeral last week, I swear to you, I expected her to pop up any minute and say, is everybody dead in here, or is it just me? Oh, she liked a sense of humor. Labor Day is another good time. If you want, it is about working. You want to get out in your yard and do something on Labor Day and do some work, take a picture. You know, this duct tape is great stuff. You can duct tape your phone to your lawnmower, take a picture of yourself mowing. I call it an eye mowe, or just a mowe. Take a mowe of yourself. You can also do it while you're raking. Take a rakey or a diggy, you know. Anything like that you want to do is a picture of yourself. Put it on your, put it in the frame and put it on a shelfie. It reminds me of a buddy of mine the other day, a bunch of books fell on him and he had no one but his shelf to blame, is what I told him. There's so many uses for this little thing right here in this modern technology. I want you to know about it. And these are tips from Instagram Paul. This is Instagram Paul coming at you on the line. I'm out. Woo! Hashtag no more mowing. You know, hashtag do some labor on Labor Day. Hashtag them hash puppies. Somebody make me some hash puppies.
Welcome back, everybody. Joining me here is Rick Schaefer. Rick, the former sports information director at the U of A, and your current co-host, Drive Time Sports, and as well as a lot of broadcasts still for the U of A. So great to have you here. We can have just a moment to talk. We're getting ready for football season in Razorback country, which is a big deal, obviously, across the SEC. And we've just finished up the SEC Media Days, which happened recently. And I would love just to jump in and talk about the Razorbacks this year, prospects and the health of the program and where we're at. Any of your insight into it?
The program is very healthy right now, Jason, and it's a privilege for me to work with you because I've seen you in action also in the classroom, and you're very, very good.
Thank you.
I've seen them in the Springdale schools, so very, very good. As far as this year's concerned, I think you're watching Arkansas on the up. The arrow's pointed up. Everybody loves the arrow pointed up.
Yes.
Some people are okay when the arrow goes like this. It's when it goes like this that they get tired of the coach. Right now, everybody's excited about Brett Bielema. Does an excellent job. And here's what he does. And I've had the privilege of being around a lot of coaches from Frank Broyles on. And he is a fundamentally sound coach. Now, that doesn't sound exciting. It's not wow, dazzling. You don't get fireworks out of that, but you win.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you've got to be, is fundamentally sound. He starts with the offensive line. He goes to the defensive line. You've got to have great skill people, but if you're good up front, then you can get by almost with average skill people if necessary. I like that this year on the cover of their press guide, and I've seen all of them from the last 60 years, there's the offensive line.
Yes.
I've never heard of anybody doing that. Maybe a lineman here, a lineman there. I remember some linemen that say like a Sean Andrews, or if you go way back, Greg Kalinda, All-America candidates, you'd put them with other players, but you wouldn't just put the offensive line on there.
Never.
He starts up front. You got to like that. The thing you watch his teams play, they're not going to beat themselves.
Right.
And as I think about even last year, and I know Arkansas threw an interception at the end of the Alabama game, but they also missed an extra point that would have been a moot point. They might have been playing for overtime.
Sure.
But you think about that, Arkansas threw 5 interceptions last year. That's not very many. Now they did lose 11 fumbles.
Right.
But they hired a running back coach. You know, if Bielema sees a problem, he's going to deal with it. He lost his running backs coach to the New Orleans Saints, so he hires a guy from Oklahoma State who last year his running backs lost 0 fumbles. So you think about that, and you think about not beating yourself.
Right.
What if you go into a season and you only throw 5 or 6 interceptions? Let's say you lose 1 or 2 fumbles. What an advantage that is.
Huge.
No matter who you're playing, because the stat that tells you the most about who wins or loses is turnovers.
That's right.
The team that suffers the most turnovers loses 78% of the time.
And that offensive line is so important. I'm so glad to hear you say that. I myself, newsflash, former offensive lineman right here, played center.
For where?
In high
Good
school.
grief.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Were you
I
bulkier
was a bit
then?
bigger then. I was a bit bigger then. But I played in Camden Fairview. Sean Andrews.
Yeah.
I was a little bit older than Sean. I played with his brother Stacy.
Wow.
So
He
you're
went to Ole
speaking my
Miss,
language.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are Those are former colleagues of mine, and putting the offensive line just on the cover there, it makes a huge statement, I think.
Well, it does, and they know the benefit in recruiting, too, because if you recruit great offensive linemen, you're going to recruit great running backs. And Arkansas right now obviously has the only school in America that had 2,000-yard backs last year. Both of them could be gone after this year. Jonathan Williams is a senior, Alex Collins a junior. He could go. So they know how important it is to bring in running backs. They also know how important it is to bring in more offensive linemen. So you look at his record, you look at Sam Pittman's record as offensive line coach, and these prospects are looking and saying, well, one, their guys go to the NFL. Two, they get to have fun. My gosh, Tritola last year threw a touchdown pass. Nobody does that. You get to do that. And I don't know if he'll do it this year.
Right.
And three, there's the press guide covering its offensive linemen, so it allows you to recruit good offensive linemen, and you're going to get running backs to run behind them.
And not just our football program, but we were speaking before, and you were talking about the success of the athletic department, in this past year.
Well, when you go way back, you go back to, say, 1978, 79, there was an era of prosperity that I'm not sure you're going to duplicate as far as everything. You had a football program that was top 10. You had a basketball program that went to the Final Four. You had a baseball program that played for the national championship. Right. You had a track program that was just blossoming, and I think '84 was the first national championship. And once they started, they kept going until they won 42. So that's a hard era to equal, but that was just men's sports. Right. Because the first female scholarship athletically was somewhere around 79, 80, somewhere in there. So now you got to combine both programs. Jeff Long's done an excellent job of doing that. So now you look at the sports on both sides, and they both are prospering. The women's track team, indoor track team, won the national championship. And they're a top 5 program in all the sports now. The men's program is still top 5 in everything. The baseball team went to the College World Series. The women's basketball team, under a new coach, got to the NCAA tournament. So that Arkansas is the only team in the SEC, only school in the SEC, that won a bowl game, won an NCAA men's basketball tournament game, won an NCAA women's basketball tournament game, and advanced to the College World Series. So that's, when you look at how good the SEC is, that's pretty amazing that Arkansas accomplished that.
That's saying something. And just talking back, because we've just kind of left that, we've finished the baseball season now, but were you a bit surprised at Arkansas's success towards the end of the year and going to the tournament and everything?
Oh, sure. When you get down to the end of the season and you got really 2 starting pitchers that you know you can rely on every weekend, or hope you can rely on every weekend, and then you know what you're going to face in a regional, you have to win the first 2 games. Because if you don't and you get into the depth of your pitching staff, you're not going to win. Well, Arkansas did. Went over to Stillwater and won the first 2 games, and then gutted it out and won the 3rd game. And then you figure, okay, super regional, if you're fortunate, maybe you only need 2 starters. Well, it didn't happen that way. But the Hogs got a great start from a guy that you wouldn't have figured would be that good. In the last game, they ended up getting to Omaha. And the pitching really was good enough to win at Omaha. Arkansas's offense just didn't produce at times. They had a lot of base runners.
Which was rare, because they had been a big offensive team, in that stretch when they were winning all the games. But, I mean, successful season. It ended up being a hugely successful thing. And, one other thing I wanted to bring up is you identified this, and being an Arkansan, this is always true, that the Hogs unite the state, right? I feel like that is the athletic program at the U of A is something that everybody rallies behind, no matter what town you're from in Arkansas. Little small places, big places, we rally behind our athletics, which is rare,
When John Barnhill came to Arkansas as head football coach in 1946, he was watching some of the best players from Arkansas go other places. Bear Bryant's a pretty good example.
Right.
Went to Alabama to play. There was a time Arkansas almost had him as coach. He didn't come. Next thing you know, he's a legend at Alabama. He was watching players leave. One of the biggest things that happened for him was getting a guy named Clyde Scott, who was in the Army, to commit to come back and go to school at Arkansas. Could have gone anywhere he wanted to. He ended up being a silver medalist at the Olympics and an All-America running back at Arkansas. So his philosophy was, if you're going to keep the best players in Arkansas, you need to build a fan base that is so proud of what you're doing that they don't want to go anywhere else. All right, he passed that philosophy to Frank Broyles when he hired him as football coach in December of 1958. Coach Broyles later became the athletic director. One of the things they did was they set up a radio network to where they gave the games away. Now, they don't do that anymore, but they gave them away so that every station in Arkansas just about almost had to carry the Razorbacks, Because if you're in a town and you're not carrying them and somebody else is, guess what? Nobody's listening to your station. So they're carrying that. So now you've got this blanket around the state. And then, of course, Coach Broyles, second, third, and fourth year, they won Southwest Conference championships. Ended up going to the Sugar Bowl a couple times, Gator Bowl winning. So now everybody's excited. And then in 1964 went undefeated and won the Post Bowl championship. So you've got all that excitement going. So they built this almost wall around the state where people were so proud of the program, and it remained that way. And it is something that's very unique. Maybe Nebraska has that. And so, you get into discussions about should they play other teams in the state. The reason they don't is because they want to keep that loyalty no matter what. And they also want to keep the financial base. Absolutely. Because when you look at what Arkansas has done, success in sports, facilities, which are absolutely remarkable. Coach Broyles left Jeff Long in great shape, and Jeff has taken that and built on it what was necessary. In a state with the resources of Arkansas, and in northwest Arkansas, we hide some of our poverty with great prosperity with the major companies up here. But in a state like Arkansas, normally ranking 48th or 49th nationally in economics, to be able to do that is remarkable, and it's because so many people in every corner of the state are devoted to one program.
I know. It's great. And obviously we're excited as Arkansans. I think we're excited about the football season happening. It's huge for us. And so thanks for dropping by the studio just to talk to us about that. Rick Schaefer, he's a legend. I remember listening to this guy when I was growing up.
I know, when you were a kid. That's right. People tell me that. Oh, I've been listening to you my whole life. Well, isn't that great? Well, I'm still pretty young,
Yeah, and you're still doing it, still making things happen. So thanks for dropping by the studio. And stick around, folks, for more with Labor.
One, two, 1, 2. In the morning you will wake alone. Jenny, you and me will both be gone. You are the only one who knows what I did or I ain't done, or right on, right on. My time here is done, and I ain't waiting until the trial begun. I'm heading out today, 50 reasons to leave and only 5 to stay. Right on, right on, right.
1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1. Pass me your bad luck, turn wrong. Been young and ain't much fun. 9 months each and every one. You leave behind 3 daughters and a son. So you ride on, ride on, ride on.
Instagram, he knows what to do. He's gonna take some time to share his wisdom with you. Yeah.
Ooh-wee, it is summertime, and the living is not that easy. Instagram is here to give you some technology tips to get you through the heat of the summer. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can do. I like to go to that app that's got a fan on it. Go to iFan, and when this vibrates, if you hold it just right, it'll kind of wave some air your way and cool you off. And this back of this thing right here, you can press down hard enough on a tick, we'll just smash it to death and kill it. My grandpa used to say, "It's so hot out here, boy, I saw a bird picking up a worm with a pot holder the other day." Now that's something, ain't it? That's the truth, though. Something else with the heat, I've noticed out here where I live, a bunch of insects. I get bug bites, something bad. But ticks, fleas, crabs, a lot of different insects out here. And what you do is you want to get you can get you in these little back scratchers into the Ozark Mountain souvenir place, and a little piece of duct tape, and you put that right on there like that, duct tape that dude on there, get someone to call you, put your phone on vibrate, and there you go. You can just itch that thing anywhere you want. I call it an eye scratch. Good in the summertime heat. This is Instagram coming at you online. I'm out.
All right, folks, we're back here on the set later with Jason Suel. So happy to be joined in the studio right now with Brian and Bernice Hembry, also known as Smokey in the Mirror.
You got it.
Oh, man, you guys are killing it right now, right?
You know, trying. We're killing some things.
I mean, my Facebook feed does nothing but blow up with Smokey in the Mirror.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
It's
I think it is. It's working. And also Roots Fest posts.
Yeah, that's the deal. It's like, we're talking about Roots Fest, which means we're talking about our music. And when we're talking about our music, we're talking about Roots Fest.
The things go
it's
hand
married.
in hand.
It's
yeah,
married.
that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So Roots Fest is coming up really soon.
Uh-huh.
Give us some information. Like, if
Sure.
I live in Northwest Arkansas, what do I need to know about
got it.
Roots Fest?
Sure.
LeVar Burton.
Do what?
LeVar Burton. He
Oh.
killed it at Roots.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
he did.
different. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
totally
wait a
different
minute, I must
thing.
have missed
Totally
that.
different.
LeVar Burton's going to be there.
So it's August 27th through the 30th. It's a 4-day fest. We basically look at it as the antithesis of a camping field fest.
Right.
So you take a camping field fest, you get that. You go to a destination, you live there for 4 days.
You get mud.
You get mud,
sweat,
you get rain,
blood.
hurricanes,
bugs.
whatever else.
Yeah.
may happen.
Really bad food.
Cooties.
Cooties.
So we take that and we just bring the festival, the idea of a music and food festival inside of Fayetteville.
Right.
And so we have stages all over Fayetteville. Our main stage is the Fayetteville Town Center. We have late night stages that happen at George's Majestic. We have community-based outreach and programming that happens at the library. So there's going to be stuff happening at the library every day of the festival.
What kind of stuff happens there? Your musicians are going to be there? Are they going to be...
One of the things that's, I think, kind of unique about the Fayetteville Roots Festival is we do live radio. So that's where our partnership with KUAF, they do a live broadcast, a 2-hour live broadcast of Ozarks at Large. Multiple of our main stage artists are going to make appearances on that live broadcast.
Every now and then we've had like secret show-ups,
Yeah.
you don't ever know who
Yeah, we
and
never
they-
announce who's going to
Right,
be on
and
the
then they
show.
just pop up.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
From like a
And-
trap door, do you have one of those?
Well,
Kind
it's
of,
more
kind of.
Right, smoke.
actually
Backstage door.
there's a back area that's kind of like a kids library. So we hide the artists in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they pop
It's
out.
their
of-
holding cell.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you can imagine like a very large Clifford book. They kind of pop out from that.
They emerge.
Yeah.
You open it up and there the stand.
Boom! Yeah, exactly. So, live radio broadcast, we have workshops that happen there, songwriting workshops. Tales from the South is going to do a Sunday broadcast there, so that's a blend of music and storytelling. There's really a lot of stuff. We're also, this year, we're doing a new thing where we have a lot of DJs that come from out of town to attend the festival.
That's awesome.
So you've got DJs that do their own folk or Americana radio shows in St. Louis, in Tulsa, in Little Rock, and so we're asking them to do something to the library as well. So they take 40 minutes with an artist, they do an interview,
Right.
the artist plays. It's an experience that we're familiar with because we've done those interviews, and people get to hear those on the radio, but people haven't necessarily had the opportunity to see that in a live environment. And so we've got a couple of those lined up.
Which is a pretty unique
It
experience.
is unique, right?
Yeah.
So if you're used to listening to something on the radio a lot and seeing it in person and seeing the people you're used to hearing their voices or hearing their
right.
music,
That's
you
right.
see them in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah,
It's really
so-
fun. When we do radio interviews, you're usually in a tiny room.
Right.
And so at this point, we're going to have them on the stage with the
With a live
interview and a
audience,
live
yeah.
audience. It's a pretty fun idea.
So all those faces for radio can finally get exposed.
That's
to
right.
That's right.
That's right.
exactly right.
That's why we brought you here.
I know.
Actually.
They have to get dressed. One of my favorite stories from the library was Iris DeMint, who is one of my loves. She did not realize that people were going to be in attendance at the
Yeah.
library. So when I picked her up when she was, she looked great. She looked fine.
Right.
But when we got to the library and we walked in, she said, Bernice, I didn't realize people were going to see us. I didn't put anything on. I just got out
I
of the
thought I was just
shower."
going to be on the radio,
Yes.
like a microphone
So
again.
it's very fun for the audience because it is a pretty raw experience. To see
Yeah,
artists in
absolutely.
their lives.
I think that should be your thing, though. Don't tell them that they're going to be in front of
Oh,
people.
that'd be great. Just
And then
throw
they
them
just
in.
surprise,
Yeah.
surprise,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
an audience for you.
Play in a dunk tank.
Yes.
That'd be great. So yeah, the idea is that it's 4 days, music, food happens all across Fayetteville.
Right.
Multiple locations. Half of our events are ticketed. Those tickets are getting close to selling out.
Okay.
So we kind of keep those limited. We want our concert experiences to be intimate affairs. And
Sure.
so even our main stage is only about 1,200 people.
Sure.
And so then there's food. We have a lot of food programming
Right.
from where we're located, which is on the square there at the town center. We're in partnership with the Farmers Market, Fayetteville Farmers
Mm-hmm.
Market. Jeremy Gothrop and the Farmers Market have worked on a new chef competition this year
Yeah.
that we're going to have for the first time, where chefs are going to go and they're going to interact with the Farmers Market. They're going to get their produce and they're. We're gonna
Hang
talk
on,
about that
hang on.
later.
No, we're going to talk about right now. You said chefs interacting, and that's
Yes.
always awkward.
Yeah, it is.
Because
It
I've
is.
had quite a few here on this show,
Yeah.
and man,
And they always
They
have
don't
sharp
interact.
objects.
yeah. So
Really?
you've got to be involved in this chef competition somehow.
I'm not, because I would
the boss
win.
man.
He's the
I
boss
don't-
man.
yeah,
Be no
right.
contest.
Well,
There'd be no concept.
he's the brainchild.
Yes, it's more of that.
So tell us about your brainchild.
The brainchild. So we've been wanting to bring the food element in for years in more of a showcase,
Right.
theatrical performance versus
Right.
just music. And the food's just, oh, there it is. It's great. It's local sourced. It's great chefs from Northwest Arkansas. Instead, create a performance. So on the streets of the farmers market, right in front of the town center, on the Saturday morning, we've got 8 chefs, 4 from Bentonville, 4 from Fayetteville. They'll be in teams, so we can cross the
Nice.
Bentonville, Fayetteville
Yes, love
lines.
it.
And they'll be in teams. They'll have $50 that we provide them, and 1 hour to shop everything they need from the market.
Market.
So right then they'll come back to their station, probably similar to this.
Bouquet of flowers and a lemonade. And they're like, now
Yeah.
what?
A muffin,
Yeah.
and a coffee. Yeah, it's no good here. And they'll have 30 minutes to prepare a dish for 4 judges. So it's very exciting in that way, where it's time sensitive, and these chefs, which chefs work good with others sometimes, get to have to work with another chef and collaborate their brain power and their creativity and create a dish.
Do they know who they're going to be paired with before they show up?
I haven't decided that yet.
Oh, okay.
I like the
think no.
element of surprise,
I like
and
the
also
surprise.
like just maybe one day of heads up, like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Maybe not though. We'll see. That could be fun.
It could be
Know
fun.
the
They draw
mystery
names out of a hat.
ingredient. Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe we could do something to
One of those big
get
Benihana
them
hats.
to decide via like a competition who gets to be their partner.
Yeah.
Like maybe they have to create like a phrase of a song, and whoever matches up the best gets to be partners or something. I don't
See,
know.
this is a huge brainstorming session right now,
right,
Northwest
that's
Arkansas. We're going to figure this out right here on
The
later.
later think tank.
I was actually thinking we could have a whole new TV concept.
Yes.
Farmers Market Sweep, right? You remember
love it.
Supermarket
Ooh.
Sweep?
Yeah,
Remember Farmers Market
absolutely.
Sweep? You can like hide some things in the cucumbers,
Yes.
And like you got to compete with some of the community folks to like get in there and get the last of whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be a
Cool.
challenge too.
Yeah.
Yes. But then the winning team, after they present their dishes to the judges, which will be celebrity judges of Northwest Arkansas,
Yep.
they will be each team will be paired together and competing for their favorite local food-based nonprofit. And the winning team will receive $5,000 worth of local Crystal Lake Farms organic chicken that they give to that nonprofit. So it's
Very
an
cool.
incredible, like a huge donation and a huge prize package, but not in a prize package for the chefs, but they get to make this donation in their name and the Roots Festival's name, and it's a great
And-
community. Yeah.
And where is that happening? Is that in a public environment where people can see?
Yes, so right right in front of the town center,
Right.
on the streets of the farmers market. So it'll be just this cooking arena that's set up right there. We'll back our Segas up a little bit. We'll back the other people up and just stuff this cooking arena in. Iron Chef Fayetteville.
I love it.
Which there was one years ago, the last one, which I won the last one.
Yes, of
Not
course
to
you did.
brag.
Anyway, not to brag music. Yeah, brag music. No. Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff going on with the Roots Fest, and I want to bring you guys back right after this commercial break to talk a little bit more about it. So stick around, folks. More with Later right after this.
brag.
Brag music. What is brag music?
This is brag music right here. This is what it sounds like. This is classic brag.
Classic brag.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raj Suresh, all the way from India, or Rogers, Arkansas. Give it up for Raj.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate you guys being out here. It's fantastic. I just want to start off tonight on a semi-serious note. Donald Trump has been making a lot of comments about immigration, and I think that this would be a fantastic time to make Donald Trump jokes, so I'm not going to do any of those. I'm going to do jokes instead about how expensive legal immigration is, because a lot of people think legal immigration is right, but most people aren't aware of how expensive it actually is. As a legal immigrant, I can tell you that it's so expensive that over the course of the next 6 years, I've started to think about how much I would shell out on legal immigration and why I would rather choose one of my two other options. See, if I don't go the legal route, I've got two options. One, marry an American and become an American citizen, which would seem cheaper than my option of being a legal immigrant, because being a legal immigrant runs me about $30,000 over 6 years to retain and hold a lawyer and make all the paperwork happen. So marrying an American citizen sounds like a great idea until my Indian side kicks in and goes, well, that actually might cost you 50% of everything you're worth. So I have another option, which I think might make a lot more sense. It might cost me a lot less than half my net worth or $30,000, because I can get some really good swimming instructors to teach me how to swim 90 miles from Cuba to southern Miami for less than $30,000 or half my net worth. See, the problem is I'd love to make the swim. It's just that I hate to admit it, but I'm allergic to great white shark bites. So it's kind of a tricky thing for me to do. You see, trying to figure out my way through American society has always been a difficult thing, right? And it's never been more difficult for me than when it came to trying to figure out how to date women in this country. Because dating in America is like the Hunger Games. It's like the Hunger Games, because everyone will always tell you that the odds are in your favor. What they don't tell you is that 9 out of 10 people that went in the arena in that movie died. So, here's what I did. To increase my odds, I decided to attract women in the best possible way that I could. I was scientific about it. I went to a Starbucks. I sat outside. I borrowed my friend's bait, which was his puppy, and I wore Ray-Bans. Well, I didn't wear Ray-Bans because they're really expensive, so I wore Foster Grants, and I wore an Abercrombie & Fitch t-shirt, and I sat outside of Starbucks sipping on a skinny soy latte, because that is something that I feel I've seen in every movie, and hopefully women are attracted to that. And here's the surprising thing. A girl walked by me, and not only did she stop and pet the dog, the next question blew my mind. She looked at me and she goes, "You look familiar." And I was like, I must have one of those Indian faces. There's 900 million Indian men on the planet. I have a very reminiscent face. She's like, no, I know you. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, you do comedy. And this was music to my ears, because I've been doing comedy for about 1.5 years now, and that's the first time I've ever been recognized. I got recognized. I was very, very happy about it. I was like, yeah, I do comedy. And she's like, oh, it's nice to meet you. I'm Jessica. And I said, Jessica, it's wonderful to meet you. My name is, and before I could finish the sentence, she goes, don't even say it. I know exactly who you are. Aziz Ansari, right? And I was just like, no, I'm not Aziz. I'm Raj. And she went, I'm so sorry. And she started to walk away, and she stopped. And she looked back at me and she said, Raj? Like from the Big Bang Theory? This is the kind of stuff, we're on public access television, folks, that I have to live through. The funny thing is, she stopped, said that, and I said, yeah, I'm not from Big Bang Theory either, but I'd love to take you to dinner. And she said, okay. And we went out to dinner. We went to this place that I thought was a bar. I'd never been there before. It's called Ruth's Chris, Went to Ruth's Chris, sat down. We both got drinks. She ordered a meal. I ordered a salad. Everything arrived. I'm on a diet, folks. Don't laugh at me. I'm trying to cut this weight off. I'm trying to make sure that the kids of India are well fed because, never mind. I'm just saying, we went out to dinner, and the first thing that happened was she said, "So what are you getting?" I got the Cobb salad. I said, "What are you getting?" She said, "You're not getting steak? This is a steakhouse." She got steak. The reason this is tricky is because steak, to most Americans, is just cow on a plate. But steak, to Indian people, is literally a matter of heaven and hell. It's kind of hard to take the thing that you worship and have it for dinner and then get up to the pearly gates and have St. Peter treat you the same way a TSA agent treats you. Like he's going to randomly pull me aside and go, "Sir, I just need to ask you one question." And I'm like, okay, look, I lived a mostly clean life. It just kind of got tricky that one night at Ruth's Chris. I had too much whiskey, might have gobbled up Bessie for dinner. I'm just hoping I could still get in. You see, because every time I go through the TSA, it's kind of like one of those emails that you get, telling you that you've won a lottery, because that's how often I get randomly selected to win. Point being, dinner actually ended up being pretty good. It ended up being really good, in fact. And I started to just have a great time with this girl. Started to drink a little bit too much. Started to talk a little bit too much. And what I ended up saying to her was, "Look, dinner's fantastic. And you know what? Maybe we should go out some more. Maybe we'll have a great relationship. Maybe we will even end up getting married." And that's when she went, "Stop. I see what you're doing. You're not going to marry me for a green card. You better learn how to swim from Cuba." Hey, that's my time for tonight. Thank you guys so much. Jason Suel.
Thank you, Raj.
And Facebook. Raj does comedy.
Raj, what does comedy?
It's pretty simple. Nobody can pronounce my last name, so.
Right.
Well, he did it right.
I'm going to try again. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Raj Suresh.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's brag.
That's brag right there. Straight brag. Straight brag. It's different than classic brag.
Oh, yeah. It's modern.
Great.
Modern brag.
Hey, everybody. We're back here later with Jason Suel, joined by Smokey in the Mirror, Brian and Bernice. Also, Jeremy Gothrop over there cooking up some stuff. Bo Count's cooking up some classic brag music for us. So we've been talking about the Roots Fest coming up end of August. What people need to know as far as coming out to the fest.
Definitely. So if folks are ticket holders, they're getting information from us, and they've got their tickets, and they have a lot of information there. But if people are just tuning in and they're like, "What is this Roots Fest?" I want to figure it out. FableRoots.com is our website.
Okay.
From our website, there's a link to a really nifty mobile app. It's got the entire schedule, and it's got a map. It's got everything you would need to know. And from that mobile app, you can see if something is a ticketed event or a free event. Like I said, it's about 50% of our events are ticketed, 50% are free to the community. And so, someone's maybe tuning in right now, and they're like, I want to go hit up the library, and I want to go check out the chef competition. So if they check out our online app, or they go to FableRoots.com, they can put it on their phone, this mobile app.
Sure.
That'll give them everything they need to know, and they'll have activities for 4 days that'll keep them busy.
And all or just most of the activities happen kind of in the downtown Fayetteville area.
Yeah, it's mostly centered around the square. So if you think about the Fayetteville Town Center is the main stage. And then, as Jeremy described, we've got this chef competition on Saturday morning that happens right there, kind of where the farmers market and the town center converge.
Right, yeah.
And then if you look just down Mountain Street, you'll see the library, about a block and a half. That's where our free programming happens. That's our corridor.
Okay.
But then we also have events. We've got a Sunday brunch event that's a kind of tradition that happens at Greenhouse Grill.
Right.
We have late night stages at George's Majestic, Kingfish,
right.
Maxine's. There's a lot of other things happening. There is a great map on that online mobile app, and there'll be a map at the town center, a large-scale map.
But also, it's very walkable. You can walk to everything.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
and this event,
about that.
I mean, we could go into more detail, but man, how it's grown since the first year.
This is our 6th year that we're heading into, and we started out. We had about 250 people come to that very first year, 12 bands. This year we'll have over 30 bands. About 4,000 people will access either a ticketed or a free event.
So many lanyards.
So many lanyards. lanyards.
many,
It's crazy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's a guy who's just stoked out of his mind.
Jackpot lanyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, and it's it's kind of a big deal. I mean, it's not just growth for growth's sake.
Right.
It's this idea that we're building something that still feels intimate, still feels like it's a part of this town that we love, but that people get excited about. We have people coming from over 20 different states, people coming from UK, Canada, Japan, Germany.
Yeah.
We
really
love
cool.
that. We love that. Something 35% of our folks come from out of state.
And they
It's
come
kinda cool.
here and they experience Fayetteville.
That's right.
And they all love it.
It's so
They
charming.
all love it.
It is, and we live here, and so you kind of get conditioned to it, and we know that we love it. But I always love talking to someone that has never been here before
Yeah.
they come in for the
A
fest.
lot of people ask us, do you guys make people act cool while we're here? Because this is the best town we've
It
ever
always
been to.
reminds me of.
It's Stepford.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
It's
have
big time.
chips,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Roots
we know.
Weekend. But yeah, it's really neat to see someone kind of experience it for the first time. The way I put it is, it's not just music on a stage, it's Fayetteville on a stage.
Absolutely.
It's not just food on a platter, it's Fayetteville on a platter. And we want people to really get this feel for what our community is all about.
Well, thank you so much for dropping by the studio. Brian, Bernice Hembry, Jeremy also involved with the Roots Fest. So, and I would love for you guys to stick around. I saw some instruments floating around.
We brought 'em over here.
So perhaps we can hear a little music from Smokey and the
We
Mirror.
can probably make that happen.
Awesome.
Okay.
Stick around, folks, for more with Later. All right, folks. Welcome back. Later with Jason Suel. What would you classify that music as?
That's like down-tempo jazz. man.
Down-tempo jazz.
Yeah.
Down-tempo jazz.
And new jazz.
Cooking jazz. Speaking of cooking,
Spicy beats.
we're kind of doing cooking, blending. What's happening?
It's not cooking. That's kind of the beauty of this.
Yeah.
Assembling.
It's an assembly
That's
of
what I used to do
flavor.
with like my GI Joes.
Assemble 'em?
Yeah,
Ah,
assemble.
I love G.I. Joes.
I know.
I think I'd still
I
play with
used
G.I.
to
Joes.
disassemble them, actually.
Yeah, you were that guy.
That's what
With
my-
firecrackers.
That's what my neighbor would do, and I'm like, Seth, really?
I didn't like you then. No.
Oh.
Anyway, so yes, we're gonna assemble a cold soup.
Okay.
And essentially, it is a puree, a smoothie.
Nice.
But we're gonna flavor it with savory and sweet. And today we're using Arkansas peaches, some of these beautiful green zebra tomatoes, some cucumbers, basil, some peppers, a little bit of heat here on these little spicy cayennes. Ultimately,
cayenne.
everything on this table right here came from the greenhouse grow garden, except the peaches.
Right.
I'd love a peach tree, but we don't have a peach tree. But we got Arkansas.
Yeah, and that's
So-
something we can talk about too. You've got Greenhouse Grill, you've got Woodstone, which is how old now? Like a year?
Not even.
Yeah. And you've just opened another restaurant,
Yes.
right? Cardamom and Curry.
Cardamom and Curry.
So tell me about that restaurant. I mean, I haven't been there yet.
So
Sell me on it. Why
It's
do I
2
wanna
weeks
go?
old. Well, it's probably a month old when
Yeah,
this airs.
right.
Great. It's an Indian style eatery. So
Yes.
we're just taking like the concepts, the flavors of Indian cuisine and mixing it with our theme of locally sourced proteins and clean food and creative plating and interpretation of it. So very much Indian style, but this town always needs
Needed
more
some
food.
naan.
It needs some
It
naan.
was non-existent.
It just needs more
I don't know.
creative
They can't
food.
be winners.
Yeah.
That's why I brought this guy in. I wish
Bad
you had
puns?
I wish
Yeah.
you had like a boom boom you could fire up on that
Yeah.
thing.
It's in
Next
there
time.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we go.
Yes. So gazpacho. So in its classic form is going to be tomato based.
Right.
So we got a little tomato, but we're going to replace the tomatoes with peaches.
Okay.
So we're going with a peach based gazpacho. Always is going to have cucumbers in it. It ends up being the body. Cucumbers are very moist and wet in a squash form
Low calorie.
and very low calorie. And then it's just your own interpretation from there. Do you like heat and spice?
Right.
Great. You like it citrusy? Great. However you want to do this, that's why I wanted to do this demonstration, because there's really no way you could screw it up. There are ways you can screw it up.
Oh, trust me,
However,
we'll find
I
out.
know, yes, there are ways. However, this is a very simple thing to do that you can, out of your backyard, make something very good. Sit around the pool. It's a great dish to bring to a potluck. It's
Yeah.
healthy. It's raw. It's vegan. It's gluten-free. It's everything.
I felt like if I sat around a pool and tried to make this, people would look at me kind of funny. They're like,
Yeah.
hang on, guys.
Yes.
People don't already look at you funny.
Well,
when
I
you
mean,
just
that's
sit
true.
around a pool?
I look like an uncooked breadstick when I put my bathing suit on. It's terrible.
Next time you're
Yeah.
coming in a bathing
In a
suit.
bathing
That's-
suit.
You've
It'll
just
be
set
great.
yourself up for
With
that.
these
Speedos
lights?
are in right now.
They are.
A teal Speedo?
No, speed
So
don't.
hot.
Speed don't.
So hot.
Speed don't.
Assemble
Yeah.
it, do it.
Assemble it, do it, yeah.
Ready, and go.
Yeah,
okay,
and go.
So,
There it
equal
is.
parts for the magic
There it
of
is. Put it in
TV.
there.
Can we get some
About
yes.
half
That's it.
cucumbers. There it is. Yes. Sultry, blender loading music. This is good.
Pile it up, pile it up.
Wait, let's see if I can go more closer.
Peaches.
Oh, that
Yes,
looks
that was good. That
looks
was nice
sexy.
right here.
Dramatic
And
blender
the
drop.
tomatoes. Oh, yes, and basil.
Drop the peach.
Nothing has to be cut very beautifully because you're going to blend it in the Vita Prep. Yep.
So the heat goes last.
Oh, the heat can go whenever. It can all just go
It
whenever.
can all just go
Just
whenever.
whenever.
Just whenever.
See?
Look at this. It's just
Goes
so
whenever.
simple. Nothing has to be beautified at all.
All right.
Mint oil.
Oil.
A little bit of red wine vinegar or lemon juice or however you want to do it. Just gives it a nice little acidity there.
Magic box.
A little salt.
Secrets.
Man.
Oh, wait.
Ooh. Someone watched Cocktail in the 80s.
Today.
Today.
Earlier.
Getting warmed up for it.
All right.
Let's
Fire that thing up. Go for
Fire
it,
it up.
man. Yes.
Now you're set, right?
All right, folks. We can't wait to try this gazpacho. Stick around for more with later. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Smokey and the Mirror.
Just take 10 steps back, out towards the fences, it's a heart attack. It never misses, you're dry as a bone. Late in the winter and you're far from home again. Backseat of a Cadillac, leather and stone. Glass and bottlenecks, you're all alone. He ain't coming back, the story's done, the end. Every day is just a hard-fought run. Somewhere in the middle, their hearts being one. Loneliness is emptiness, and emptiness is pain. The pieces of your heart, like embers from a flame. These times I've known, just like a book of cards with no hand shown. Spades and black nines, the birds have flown. Into the caves I begin to walk right in. The day seems of a better time. Albatross wings are still up and fly. Blue sky night, falling from the stars and blowing like the wind. Every day is just a hard-fought run. Somewhere in the middle, their hearts being one. Loneliness is bitterness, and bitterness is pain. The pieces of your heart, like embers from a flame. Every day is just a hard-fought run. Somewhere in the middle, their hearts being one. Loneliness is bitterness, and bitterness is pain. The pieces of your heart, like embers from a flame. Somewhere in the middle, their hearts being one.
Yeah. Welcome back, folks. Later with Jason Suel. We hope you are chilling out, having an amazing time in this summer August heat. We want to thank our guests for being here today. We had Brian and Bernice Hembry, woo, and their daughter Bergen is here. Yeah. It's so awesome to have you here, Smokey in the Mirror. Jeremy Gothrop, executive chef of like everything in Fayetteville, has joined us. Bo Counts over there, sidekick. Music Man, Raj Suresh was here, Rick Schaefer. We want to say thanks to all of our guests for being here, and we'll catch you more next time. See you later, alligator. Let's try some gazpacho.
Yeah. Where's this gazpacho? Where's the gazpacho? Give me one of these peaches.
Get the chives.
That you're doing it on purpose. Sing like you're singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Nah, nah.